Hello, welcome to another video from EarnPED.com. I'm Stevie B, happy to have you all with me today as we are at Twin Peaks and we are going to be discussing the fact that Mayhem Tokens and Rare Mayhem Tokens are about to become tradable in-game later today. And in addition to that, we're going to take a look at the Mayhem Token Vendor and tell you guys everything you need to know about the upcoming changes. A lot of you are probably already aware of this. Some of you may not yet be aware of what's going on, so let's catch everybody up to speed. So first of all, guys, obviously I have not been around in several months. I had a death in the family, dealing with the estate, bought a house, lots of life changes. But today we're all about Entropia. So the first thing that you need to know is that Mayhem typically has a format to it, whether it's the old school format where we used to do the competition, or the newer format where it's more of a grind fest. However, Easter Mayhem was different. They just kind of threw an event together. A lot of people were very unhappy about it. But that's because this Mayhem vendor has been a mess for a while now, because mainly of the imbalance between regular Mayhem tokens and Rare Mayhem tokens. So if we just take a look at a couple of examples here, let's look at some of the unlimited gear available from the token vendor. Now, obviously there's nothing currently available because everything's out of stock. But like the LR20 adjusted, this used to be the lowest level Mayhem weapon that you could pull from the vendor. It required 1 rare and 24,000 regular tokens. But then you would have stuff like the LR60 augmented, which required 4 rare tokens and 110,000 regular tokens, or the BC80 augmented, 4 rare and 145,000 regular tokens. And this is all the old school stuff that was originally in the vendor. But if we come even further down the list on the unlimited side, we can see some stuff that was added about a year and a half, maybe closer to 2 years ago now. You've got the DOA Mayhem Faux Ripper Augmented, 120,000 regulars, 4 rares. You've got the Electric Attack Nano Chip 15 Perfected, 140,000 tokens and 5 rares. And, of course, the thing that everybody wants, one of the holy grails, is the LP120 Perfected, 480,000 tokens and 6 rares. So there's always kind of been this imbalance between the regular tokens and the rare tokens. Back when it was a competition, you had to place first, second, or third. There were a few other options in different competitions, but usually you had to place first, second, or third in order to get a rare token. And you would also win a lump sum of tokens, but it was highly uneven. On the lower categories, you would win a rare token and a small amount of Mayhem tokens. And in the higher categories, you would win a rare token and a giant amount of tokens. So to put this into perspective for you guys, I actually won 5 competitions, got 5 rare tokens, and I still, even with the lump sum tokens that I got from those competitions, and with the tokens that I was able to grind out during the competitions, I still did not have the tokens needed, the regular tokens, to even pull an LR20 adjusted. That's why whenever they changed it from the competition format to the Grind Fest format, I was eventually able to pull a BP70 Perfected, because at the time it was only 4 rares, now it's 5. And I had plenty of rares, but it was so uneven that even after winning 5 competitions and getting 5 rares, I think I only had about 15 or 18,000 regular tokens. Then they changed it to a Grind Fest. And when they changed it to a Grind Fest a while back, then it kind of shifted the dynamic to the other side. All of a sudden, people were able to farm massive amounts of the regular tokens, but you had to rely on rare drops to get a rare token. And I know a lot of people that have multiple rare tokens that didn't get them from inside the competition at all, or inside the Grind Fest at all. They got them from opening Strongboxes exclusively. I've got one friend that got multiple rare tokens after opening thousands and thousands and thousands of Strongboxes, but they were never able to get a rare token to drop during the Grind Fest format. Personally, in all the grinding I did during the Grind Fest format, never, not one time, did I ever loot a Rare Mayhem token. So now it's kind of shifted to the other side where we've got people that have hundreds of thousands of regular Mayhem tokens, but almost no rare tokens. So Mindark is finally addressing this. They're finally fixing it. Later today, they are going to make Mayhem Tokens Tradeable, but this is only going to be for about the next month. It is a limited time thing. Personally, I don't think they should have ever been account bound. I think they should have been tradable from day one, but that's because this is a real cash economy game. You let the market set the prices. You have to have the freedom to trade. When that is constricted via something that's account bound, you're artificially manipulating the market. So as of today, later today for the next month, they're going to make both Rare tokens and Mayhem tokens tradable. Not only will they be tradable, you'll be able to put them up on auction. Now, this is good, in my opinion, because either A, it will let you sell your Rare tokens and your Mayhem tokens and cash out using a market device to determine the price, or for those people who did what I did and just grinded away hoping for something like a BP70 Perfected or a BC80 Augmented, or some of the other really cool high-end gear, if you're anywhere near close to being able to get that stuff, then what will end up happening is, if you have the ability, reach into that pocket, deposit the money, and you'll be able to buy the rest of the tokens that you need for your vendor pool. Now, as you will see as we go through this list of stuff in the vendor, items remaining 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Well, 45 on the Hedog Mayhem, I guess, because nobody's going to pull that. But 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Everything has been pulled. All the good stuff has practically already been pulled for a long time now. And this has been a real problem with the vendor, is even once you were able to get the tokens you needed, stuff just was not in stock. The good stuff was pulled almost immediately as it was filled. So the way MindArc is going to fix this, they are going to do one more vendor refill. Now, it's not going to be all at once. They're going to release it in multiple stages over a period of about 2 weeks, I believe. I could be wrong on that. I would have to double check. And they have not given us the information yet, but what they have told us is when they do this, they're going to account for people living in different time zones, different parts of the world. They don't want to do the whole restock at once, and they're going to tell us in advance what they're going to restock. And this will be the last time they will ever restock unlimited items in the Mayhem vendor. From now on, the Mayhem vendor will only have limited items and blueprints. So why is that? Well, let's take a look. Under the first category of limited gear, we've got the typical amps and stuff that you can get out of your Strongboxes. We're pretty much all used to pulling this stuff out of our Strongboxes, these Mayhem limited amps. And then down here under the first limited category, they've got, the Ares Ring Mayhem Limited, some of the higher end amps, the Ares Mayhem Ring Improved. But if we go from limited to limited 2, this is where we see the newer exceptional line of products. The exceptional Hedog Mayhem Perfected Limited, the exceptional Mayhem Arsenic Chip 15 Limited, the exceptional Mayhem BP70 Perfected Limited. So the deal with these exceptional limited items is a lot of this stuff, there's already a limited version in game. So like the BP70 Perfected, I have the unlimited version pulled out of the vendor. But as you're in Mayhem, if you're grinding out certain categories, occasionally you might get a limited BP70 Perfected to drop in your loot. And usually these sell on auction with pretty good markup. Well, that is not the same as the exceptional version you're looking at here. The exceptional version you're looking at here, these exceptional versions last an incredibly long time. Now, what is an incredibly long time? It's different for everybody. Some people are like, man, these things can last for over 1 million uses. Yeah, some of them can. However, for somebody who really grinds a lot and cycles a lot of PED, that's nothing. So for a casual player or an occasional player, a lot of these exceptional limited items are going to be great. In fact, I might even pick up a couple myself just because it can help me round out my gear setup in ways that I normally would not think about rounding out my gear setup. So the fact that these exceptional limited items have a very, very, very long shelf life before they become completely useless, that is going to be something that is going to be highly advantageous to a lot of people that are casual players or occasional players. And I think it's going to be a really good thing for the game. It's also going to be something that even higher end players who maybe don't want to spend $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on an unlimited item, but still would like to have something for those special use cases, can round out their gear setup. So example would be the exceptional Mayhem Restoration Chip Modified. It has a much lower level usage profession requirement than the regular Mayhem Restoration chip modified or the regular Mod Resto chip. Now, it's limited. It's going to eventually become useless, but this is something that, you know, somebody like me who doesn't need a Mod Resto every day might be able to pick one of these up for those special use cases. This might last me, you know, multiple months. I might be able to get 6 months of use out of this because I would use it sparingly. Or it might be something where a player who normally does, let's say, laser or BLP weapon damage might pick up a Mayhem, an exceptional Mayhem Electric Attack Chip 15 Perfected. Yes, it's limited. Yes, it will eventually burn down to 0 and you'll have to throw it away. But maybe somebody who doesn't use Mind Force all the time, this will help them to skill some of those Mind Force skills they want to skill in rare exceptions and last a good while doing it. So I think that moving towards only having limited items in the vendor, I think that's a great move. I think that having these exceptional items in the vendor is a great move because of how long they tend to last. And like I said, we already have regular versions of a lot of this stuff in limited form that drops as loot in Mayhem. That's where all the limited Mayhem armor comes from, is as you're in Mayhem hunting or grinding or whatever, then occasionally in your loot, you'll loot, you know, a limited Mayhem harness or a limited Mayhem helmet. So all of your limited Mayhem armor that you see, that drops inside the instances. Whenever you see a limited BP70 Perfected or a limited LR20 adjusted or a limited LR60 augmented, that's loot that dropped inside the instance, but that's the regular version that does not last as long as these exceptional versions. So having these in the vendor, I think, is going to be a big game changer for a lot of players. But then they actually went a step further. And if you notice, we now have blueprints in the vendor. So what's the deal with blueprints? Well, blueprints are exactly what you would think. They're limited blueprints, which means that you can only use them once, then they burn up. And they are used to craft the new exceptional limited items. So, like right now, I'm looking at the blueprint for the exceptional Hedok Mayhem Perfected Limited, so limited item, blueprint limited, meaning once you use it, it's gone. So if I wanted to, I could trade 3,000 Mayhem tokens for 1 click of this blueprint. There are 8 of these currently available in the vendor, meaning if I wanted to drop, you know, 24,000 Mayhem tokens, I could get 8 clicks of this blueprint, which would give me 8 chances to construct an exceptional Hedok Mayhem Perfected Limited. If I wanted to, let's say, round out some of my skills by using a laser rifle in addition to my regular BP70 that I use, I could get the exceptional Armatrix LR60 Augmented Limited, meaning it will eventually burn up. Blueprint Limited, meaning, again, I click it, it's gone. And it would cost me 2,500 tokens per click that I wanted to try and craft. Now, there's currently none available. I'm sure as we get through this transition period, then Mindark will keep these blueprints thoroughly stocked. And as you can see, they've got blueprints for practically every one of these exceptional items, and they've even got some blueprints that we have not seen a regular exceptional limited item for it yet. So, example is the Cryo Attack Nano Chip 16, or the Corrosive Attack Nano Chip 17, or the Mayhem Guardian plating, or the Mayhem Defender plating, or the Mayhem Protector plating. These are all blueprints for items we haven't even seen yet in the vendor, and of course, again, they're exceptional in nature. So I think this is going to be really cool because once they get past this last refill and we go, okay, no more unlimited items, then it becomes, what do you want to spend your tokens on? Limited gear in the form of exceptional stuff that you can just use your tokens to buy outright, or blueprints for limited exceptional items that you then have to try and craft. Now, one question a lot of people have been asking is, do these blueprints come with a 100% success rate? And the answer is no. These blueprints come with the same kind of success rate you would expect out of regular limited blueprints, meaning that if you get one of these blueprints and you go try and craft it, remember, you're paying per click. So it's like on this one for the Gauss Perfected Rifle, 1,600 Mayhem tokens per click of the blueprint. So if you only got 1 click and you take the materials and you go to a crafting machine and you try and craft it, you could get a failure. You could get a near success. So to craft these exceptional limited items, you're not just going to have to get 1 click of the blueprint and go. Maybe you get super lucky doing that, But as anybody who's done any amount of crafting knows, you're going to want several clicks of these blueprints available, because you are going to get some failures and some near successes in addition to your successes. Remember, you only have about a 33% success rate long term. So to try and just get one click and go craft one of these exceptional items, can you do it? Yeah, if you get super lucky. But you could also get one click, go to the crafting machine, dump in all the materials, and get a failure, lose everything. So most people who are going to try and craft these are going to try and get several clicks of these to try and make sure they get something crafted by the end of the crafting run. Now, what prices will this exceptional limited gear go for? That is yet to be seen. I've seen it all over auction. I've seen the prices kind of being all over the place. Obviously, when you're looking at thousands of tokens per click, you're going to be kind of pricey on even the cost of the blueprint. And then when you're looking at having to use multiple clicks of the blueprint to try and craft something, knowing that you're going to get some failures and some near successes, yeah, these exceptional items are not going to be cheap. But that is why Mindark has made them exceptional, and that is why they last so long, is to compensate for the fact that you're going to have to spend some money to get your hands on these limited items. So am I going to tell you that you should sell all your Mayhem tokens and Rare Mayhem tokens? No. Am I going to tell you you should buy a lot of Mayhem tokens and Rare Mayhem tokens? No. Am I going to tell you that you should buy everything you need to do your vendor pool and then stalk the vendor to try and be there when they restock it to grab one of those last unlimited items? No. I'm not going to tell anybody what they should do. That is a really cool setup. Damon here has a really cool setup. He's got a lot of the smuggler stuff on. It looks like smuggler armor and some cool demon wings. That's pretty cool. And then he vanished. Of course he did. So this is one of those situations where it's going to be to each their own. Some people are going to want to buy the blueprint. Some are going to want to buy exceptional limited items. Some are going to want to try and craft their own. Some are going to want to go for a vendor pool. Some people are just going to want to cash out. But I think Mindark is handling this in about the best way they possibly can. In fact, we've already got people in Cali Trade advertising Mayhem tokens for sale. They are not quite tradable yet, but they will be later today. And like I said, this is a limited thing. It will only last for the next month. And they will be on auction. They will be auctionable. We have verified that with Mindark. So guys, I will be back with more videos for you really soon. Again, dealing with the estate and having a death in the family and a lot of real life stuff. So I'll be trying to pump out more content. Got a super special video coming out later this week. I was able to do something yesterday that has only been done once before in the history of Entropia Universe. So be on the lookout for that video later this week. Until next time, sip, sip, smack, smack. Y'all know the rest. Take care, guys.